Weather. Clear blue skies. It is a little breezy. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, but guarantee you there isn't anybody suiting up here at Defiance that won't take this compared to what we've had over the last 6 to 8 weeks. Welcome aboard, everybody, as the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is underway. You are watching DCTV Sports. Brent Balbinot will be joined by Scoop Miller shortly here as we now have the postseason officially underway. The Bulldogs taking on Wert. At this point in time, it's about survive and advance. You win, you get to keep your gear and your uniform in your locker. You lose, you pack it away until next year. We're going to go through our starting lineups. We're going to break down this matchup. But before we do, we've got a unique feature that we've started this week. We call it not just the player profile, but from the backstop to the warning track. Yeah, we might have taken a little bit of liberties with some other people, but what's the surest form of flattery? Copying. So what we're going to do is talk with Tegan Zipfel, the standout senior pitcher for Defiance. She is going to be going across town, not copying, imitation. That sounds just a little bit better, right? Isn't that how the old phrase goes? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But just the same, she has been an absolute warrior in the circle. 11-3, a sub-2 ERA, and she has over 100 strikeouts on the season. There's more to Tegan Zipfel than just a cannon of a right arm. She's an incredibly intelligent, well-thought-out young lady, and we're going to get to know her beyond softball. She's going to take the walk with us from the backstop to the warning track when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports. Well, we welcome you back to the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. We are doing something we have never done before on DCTV. We're going to do a pregame live in person with our standout player profile. Tegan Zipfel joins us right now. We call this segment, unless we get somebody to think of a better name, from the backstop to the warning track. We're going to take a stroll here this afternoon and get to know the standout senior pitcher for the Bulldogs. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right, let's start talking and let's start walking. Let's take a look at your stats so far this season. 10-3, an ERA of 1.85, 25 walks, and I actually had 97 strikeouts down. She took a look at it and she goes, add a few more, 103. There's an old phrase though in sports. The days are long, the seasons are short.
Yes.
Senior year, does it seem like the last 4 years have been that long ago, or did they disappear in the snap of the fingers?
Last 4 years definitely flew by fast, like snap of the fingers. And when people tell me that quote, I'm like, oh no, it's gonna last forever, but definitely flew by. So
now there's, I don't want to call it the danger, but everything can become sentimental your senior year, right?
Very.
This is the last time I'm going to do this, last time I spend time with my teammates doing this. Has that hit you yet, or are you able to kind of keep it at arm's length and focus on the next game?
It definitely hit me in my last OBL game, which was last Wednesday. Definitely was very sentimental. But winning the league 2 years in a row has definitely been something to be proud of with our team and our players. So.
As well you should be.
Yes.
It doesn't happen to just anybody. I'm not going to drop names, but I kind of will. I had a famous basketball player once tell me, don't take special for granted. And what he meant was, sometimes you get so used to it and you want to hold that bar high for success, but you also want to keep it in proper perspective and realize what we're doing, probably 95% of everybody else would kill. They'd give their right arm to do.
Yes.
Are you able to keep it in perspective, but also at the same time appreciate it in the moment?
Yes, very, yeah. Definitely a big moment, but also the memories that came along with it will always be something to remember. So
I want to rewind a little bit. We'll take a four-wheel drive trip down memory lane here with Tegan. I want you to rewind 4 seasons ago. Young freshman. I'm watching her right now. Do you see her blink? She's off and she's gone 4 years back in time. Do you remember the first time though you took the field for a varsity contest?
I do remember the first time, yes.
Who was it against?
It was against Wasion my freshman year. And it was definitely a learning experience. coming in as a freshman and playing in a varsity game.
How'd you do?
I didn't do the greatest. I got hit up pretty well, but it also contributed to what made me a better player today. So
What'd you learn from that?
just not to get down, and I mean, it happens to everybody. You just got to come back stronger and continue to work hard.
Softball is interesting because it's a team sport, but it's comprised of individual performances.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You were the favorite to repeat. Matter of fact, going for a three-peat this year for the WBL championship.
Yes.
Did the team openly talk about that?
We've actually been very humble about it. I know we just kind of went game to game, play to play. So I think just playing together as a team has been our strong suit. So
What is something about this group as an aggregate, as a team, that maybe the fans don't know?
we have pretty good leadership in and off the field. I played with multiple of these girls the last 2 years. And I think just playing together continuously has definitely helped.
So in addition to your leadership, obviously as a senior, who else would you put in that category?
Ava Colin, our junior shortstop, has also played a big role in leadership as well. And then my senior catcher, definitely a duo of me and her. So
Vita.
that is definitely strong. Yes.
We're going to try and get Vita. We're going to try and get the seniors on. As long as they keep winning, we're going to continue to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So no pressure, but we're starting with the queen in her court here. So let me ask you this then, not to get philosophical, but how is the senior version of Tegan Ziffel different from the freshman version of Tegan Ziffel?
Senior version, I've definitely been through a lot, like just playing and going through game to game the last 4 years. It's definitely learning and just becoming stronger mentally. It's definitely a big part of the game. So
that's interesting because you mentioned a little of both. I was going to say, how's Tegan Ziffel, the freshman, different from the player Tegan Ziffel, but also the person.
Yeah.
Now, how have you matured?
I think just being able to know all aspects of the game and like having that point of view of each play or how every player is feeling in that moment, just being able to help every player in every way.
Was there somebody that mentored you when you were a young freshman, somebody that kind of took you under their wing?
Lindsay Roth, who graduated last year, was our center fielder. I've grown up playing softball with her, and she's just known me like the back of her hand, and she's helped me every year of high school. And having like an upperclassman do that has really helped me. So helped a lot.
Now, from freshman Tegan Ziffel to senior Tegan Ziffel, but there are some freshman starters on this year's roster as well.
Mm-hmm.
Future looks very bright. What's your message to them? How have you helped lead them along?
No matter what happens in the game, errors, you just got to come back stronger the next play. It'll make you a better ball player in the end. And I know it's hard to, realize that at first, but just the more you do it, the more you practice, it just gets better in the end.
You are a multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
What other sports do you play?
My freshman year, I played volleyball. I switched over to varsity soccer my sophomore and junior year, and then went back in to play volleyball my senior year.
Just didn't know what to do with yourself with spare time in the fall, or did it help cross-train you?
It just kept my mind busy, just kept me active. So definitely, and then I'd work all winter on softball every year, so that helped.
The term is student athlete. You've got to crack a book, obviously. You have to stay eligible to stay in the uniform. We were chatting about this at a previous practice, but Tegan also has a brain. What's your GPA?
My cumulative GPA is currently almost a 4.1, so I've definitely kept up with my grades. Being a teacher's kid has put a lot of pressure on me, just making sure my grades are high as well as sports, and so I balanced it pretty good. What's
a typical day for you? Because obviously it sounds like time management is very important. You are involved in a lot of other clubs too, correct? What else are you involved in outside of sports?
NHS, National Honor Society, I also participate in. That's a lot of volunteering, which doesn't fill my schedule, but it's also some days of the week. So, I go to school, and then I go to practice. Sometimes
what time are you up in the morning?
6:30.
Okay.
And then I get ready for school. School gets out at about 2:30. Come straight to the Nice for practice at 3. Practice will go from 3 to 5:30, and then usually I'll go home and eat, and then just do my homework. So I have it balanced out pretty good.
She's got it down, but senior leaders do tend to do that. You have accepted a scholarship to Defiance College, correct?
I have, yes.
And that's to play softball?
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about your recruiting process. Who was sniffing and why you eventually chose DC?
Well, now that DC has moved to NAIA, that was a big step of my decision. And I am like an only child, so I kind of am a homebody. But I was originally wanted to go to Heidelberg University, was also an option until Defiance College became NAIA. Both my parents are also two alums of that college, so I also get another scholarship for that. So there's a lot of aspects into the decision.
So what was your scholarship or recruiting process like? Because I've talked to some athletes. As a matter of fact, you've got some teammates that are going through that right now, and it can be a time of stress. There's a lot coming at you. My suggestion has always been enjoy it. Wrap both arms around it. They're shopping for you rather than vice versa. What advice would you have for anybody, no matter what their sport, as to how to handle the process?
Potentially just put videos out there of you playing, some highlights. Make sure you get a hold of the coach yourself. Most coaches don't exactly come to you. You have to go to them nowadays.
It's like applying for a job, right?
Yes. So don't be scared to do that. It will only help you. Eventually, coaches will get back to you, and you just got to be patient with it. So, I mean, that's really what happened to me.
Enjoy it, though, right?
Yeah, you just got,
You won't get that opportunity again.
Definitely.
So what's your major? At least what you're planning on your major
I'm going to be majoring in AYA, Life Science Education, so a science teacher in high school.
Okay. Now, you also told me that you have the bug.
Yeah.
You want to stay around the sport. You see yourself getting into coaching sometime?
I also want to coach high school when I get a job at that high school, so hopefully staying local, but not for sure.
So
the
maybe
exact
leading
place.
this program in a few years, possibly, right?
Yes.
We're not going to graduate you too soon.
No.
There's still plenty to do. What do you do outside of sports to decompress or relax?
I do a lot of bike riding. My family's very active, so we do a lot of just active things, walking, biking, just to keep our bodies moving. Really, that's our hobby. It's just being active.
You wouldn't know what to do if you had to sit still, would you?
No, not really.
No spare time for this young lady here. All right, we've talked a little academics, we've talked a little sports. This is kind of what I call rapid fire favorites.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Kind of along the lines of 20 questions. Favorite color?
Definitely green.
Green. I see you're wearing Defiance blue, so I thought you might go. Why green?
There's just so many different shades of green. I don't know. Like I like teal green, teal bluish, the mixture, like aqua.
She styles in any color, pretty much. Favorite music or favorite artist?
I like country.
Okay.
Luke Combs is my favorite country artist.
Okay. Favorite food?
Ooh, I like Chinese food. I like orange chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Orange chicken, and that I would not have thought of. She's very eclectic. Favorite sports team?
Definitely Ohio State Buckeyes.
The Buckeyes.
Yeah.
I will just not comment on that one. We give the Buckeyes respect. They're great for a reason. Here's one for you. Favorite memory at Defiance?
Favorite memory would definitely be winning these last 2 years, the BL championships.
Okay. Postseason gets underway tonight against Van Wert. There's an old phrase, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. She could do this. Maybe she'll interview me someday. Can you just talk about the goals? The goals aren't just to win one or two. Can you talk about goals, knowing that this is the last ride for at least the senior class?
Our goal as a team is hopefully just finish strong and just finish with our all. You know, it's always better to know you finish strong instead of, you know, you still had stuff left in the tank. So I just really hope we end on a strong note.
Goal to get to Racer Park?
Yeah, no matter the score. So
okay.
That's our goal.
I'm not going to try and get philosophical with her here, but as you can tell just in our walk from backstop to warning track, very impressive student athlete here. Let me ask you this. What do you want your legacy to be? If somebody comes back here in 5, 10, 20 years and the name Tegan Zippel gets mentioned, how do you want to be spoken of?
My legacy is just not about what's on the field. I also want to be remembered for a good teammate and just to stay humble and never boast, or just play your sport and just focus on now instead of in the future, because the more you focus on the present, the better the future will be.
Well, she has represented not just athletics, but the school of Defiance with great distinction. Tegan Zippel, our player profile. Best of luck to you, and thanks for taking the walk with us. We're going to take a quick time out. We are back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back to Defiance High School. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller as we are working our way closer and closer to first pitch. It is the first round of the sectionals. Girls softball has Defiance co-champs in the WBL, but that's still good enough to be defending champs for the second straight year. They split with Kenton, but they are looking to go beyond just today as they are welcoming Van Wert to the diamond. As everybody has finished their warm-ups here, we're getting set for first pitch. Let's go ahead and bring you your Baker Schindler Company starting lineups. Let's go ahead and start with the visitors from Van Wert. The Cougars, again, have kind of found themselves very late in the season, Scoop. They only had one win going into, I think it was, the last week or maybe 10 days. They finished with a 5-13 record, 3-6 in the WBL. Certainly not a team that you want to sleep on, but they have been banged up. Alexis Pangle will be their leadoff hitter, playing the hot corner. She is their power hitter. She has the most home runs on the roster. Emma Haynes will bat second, playing center field. Emma Kennedy is the coach's daughter. She hits third, playing first base. Your designated player is Emma West. She will bat cleanup. Caitlin Bear will be in the circle. He has rotated over the past 2 weeks between Emma West and Caitlin Bear, but Bear, being the senior, gets the starting nod here. Aubrey Wallet will hit sixth. She will play second base. Katie D'Amicus, good Italian name in the middle of the Ohio cornfields, will be the 7-hole hitter. She is the catcher. Batting eighth, it will be the shortstop, Callie Garber, and roaming right field will be Kaylee Blythe. As you see, handshakes, pleasantries, and lineup cards being exchanged between Coach Parrish and Coach Kennedy. For the Bulldogs of Defiance, the following 9 will step to the plate in this order. Ava Cullum, the junior shortstop, earlier this season became the program's all-time home run leader, correct? You're looking at me. If not, we'll say that she will eventually. I was told that, so we're going to go with our resources until we find out otherwise. We'll put our best people on it. Batting second and playing second base, it will be Bella Gutierrez, the sophomore. Hitting third, it will be the senior catcher, Vida Caceres. Roaming left field, she can pick them up and lay them down. Viviana King Mayeku covers a lot of ground out there. Brooke Appen will bat fifth. She is your designated player. Tegan Ziffel, our player profile, made the walk, the first ever in Defiance to make the walk from the backstop to the warning track. Just a tremendous young lady. She's looking to continue her career before she goes across town to continue at the college level at Defiance College. Again, in the center circle. Natalie Ordway will be manning third base, the freshman playing the hot corner. Izzy Ramirez will be in right field. She will bat eighth, and then the speed burner Taylor Bibler, the senior, in center field. Those are your lineups brought to you by the Baker Schindler Company. Our umpiring crew, 2-man crew, according to Ohio High School Athletic Association rules and regulations. Behind the plate, Steve Trout. He is well seasoned, ladies and gentlemen. There you take a look. He's the second umpire being screened out, but you can see that very gray, actually white hair underneath that cap. Scoop, he is, I think you said, 70-plus years of age. Did he actually umpire some of your games?
He did not, but he officiated a lot of basketball games I coached in, and he's been officiating, umpiring for 40-plus years. One of the best in all Northwest Ohio, and a guy that's been to the state tournament officiating a lot of games as well. So highly respected throughout the state of Ohio.
That is coming from a man who usually brings binoculars for most officials and umpires as a kind gesture, but just the same, for him to make a comment like that about Steve Trout means you have a ton of respect for him.
Well, Steve, like everyone else, I've always told him, hey, if you're not sure of a call, look my way. I'll give you some help. Very rarely did they.
They know better. Jim Renault will be in the field as that rounds out our umpiring crew here this afternoon. Those, again, are your starting lineups and the umpires brought to you by the Baker Schindler Company. As we are getting set for first pitch, both teams coming out of their respective dugouts, we're getting ready for the playing of our national anthem brought to you by Defiance Elks Lodge, number 147. Van Wert trickling out of the first base dugout. Defiance out of their home dugout. There you're getting an aerial view from our third base camera. Beautiful blue skies, a few white puffy clouds to kind of dot the landscape. Plenty of sunshine. It is breezy, and it is blowing straight out to right field this afternoon. So depending on whether or not you can pull the ball as a lefty or go oppo as a righty, it may be a hitter's park. We'll wait and see. Right now, time for the national anthem, again courtesy of the Defiance Elks Lodge number 147. And the Star Spangled Banner in the books. Our thanks going out to our underwriter helping make that a possibility, the Defiance Elks Lodge number 147. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac and pregame show about to put a wrap on things. Brent Balbinot, Scoop Miller, first round of sectionals. Scoop, it always sounds a little climactic or Hollywood-esque, but the simple fact is you reach this point in time of the season and it's survive and advance. It's win or go home. You win, you keep your locker room full of its equipment and your uniforms, your gear. You lose, and you pack it up until next season. And for seniors in both of these rosters, nobody wants to end their career with a loss. So, again, we're getting started here. Defiance is clearly the heavy favorite, but you also have to come out and be focused.
Well, the second season is what it's all about. This is what you prepare for. This is what you put the time in for. When you get to that postseason, everybody's undefeated. The goal is to be the last one standing, but you have to have the old approach, take them one game at a time. And even though Defiance had their way with Van Wert back on April 16th by a 14-2 count, I'd say it's safe to say that both these teams are completely different than they were 3.5 weeks ago.
I happened to keep an eye on practice yesterday. We were out doing some interviews, and I can say this. Coach Parrish was preaching some fire. He is not going to allow his team to take anybody lightly or be anything but 100% focused.
Well, you can't. You know, this is a one-game series right here. It's not best of 7. You have to go out there and win it between the lines. And remember, you know, Van Wert, if you look past that 10-0 loss to Mac Power Coldwater a few days ago, they had won 4 of their last 5 games. And during that spell, you know, they'd held teams to 1 run. They shut out a team. They held another team to 3 runs, another team to 2 runs. So they're really kind of starting to feel their groove. And during that last 5 game span there, they also were averaging 8 runs per game. So this is a team that's playing their best ball at the right time. And the fact that they took on chin earlier, they really don't have the pressure on them. I think Defiance does. So it's going to be important for Defiance to come out, I think, set the tone early, get some confidence, and get some doubt to creep in on the Van Wert side of the field.
We're going to take one last break as we wrap up the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. When we come back, it will be first pitch. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching Defiance Girls Softball on DCTV Sports. There you get a good look from behind home plate from our backstop camera. We welcome you back to Defiance High School. How about this? You don't think the senior, this isn't her first go-around? Tegan Zippel did not like the softball she was warming up with and immediately tossed it back to Vita Gutierrez and asked for another one. She has been absolutely lights out this season. Scoop, I don't want to say as she goes, so goes the rest of the team. but it's pretty much been that case. She has got 11 wins against 3 losses. She has faced 390 batters this season. She's got over 100 strikeouts, and she is just plain a bulldog in that circle.
She's been lights out throughout her career. Last year, she was the WBL Player of the Year, first team All-District. But she has a good supporting cast around her as well. But she knows the importance of getting her team off the right foot, as she's going to be the one in the circle hitter this afternoon. And there you see a look at the Defiance Bulldogs defense there.
Caceres behind the plate. It's an all-senior battery. From left to right on the infield, it goes Ordway, Cullen, Gutierrez, and Jalad. Freshman, junior, sophomore, junior. From left to right in the green, it's sophomore, senior, junior. King Maeku, Bibler, and Ramirez. Ramirez, one of the most physical players in the WBL. As Zippel has finished her warm-ups. And we'll probably have an infield meeting in the circle. It's one of those moments here, Scoop, where you want to be focused, you want to bring the energy, but you don't want to be so amped up that it causes you to be anything other than you would have been, say, a week ago, a month ago.
Well, that's the way you practice. You know, you want to come out there and play the game you played all year. You don't want to try to turn it up and down here. You go with what's got you here. And, again, that's the importance here. You know, it's not just another game, but you need to approach it that way, not do anything different.
Here's the F&M Bank first pitch. Pangle first pitch swinging, sends a ground ball to second. Gutierrez is there, and you can't be much more efficient than that. One pitch, one out.
Great job by Zippel attacking the zone, and Bella Gutierrez there makes the play, made it look routine. Quick first out for Defiance.
As we mentioned, both of these teams met roughly 1 month ago. It was in Van Wert, and Defiance was a heavy winner, 14-2. As digging in, the number 2 hole hitter, Emma Haynes.
Well, you always love first pitch strikes, and right now Zippel really attacking the zone. There's a nice looking curveball with a lot of glove side run that fades away from Emma Haynes, a sophomore, to even the count up at 1-1.
Haynes hitting .283 on the season. There you get a good look. There's a great look from our center field cameras. This one into foul territory, snagged by Jalad. So some nifty defense by Defiance to open up this ball game, and quickly there's 2 away.
Well, that's a great 1-1 pitch. Had plenty of velo on it, well located on the outside edge, and Jalad is able to snare it. 2 quick outs for this Defiance defense, trying to mow down the Cougars in order here in this first inning.
Now this will arguably be the toughest hitter in the lineup, as Kennedy, the coach's daughter, first pitch swinging, goes downstairs and punches this one back up the middle. She is now up almost .490 for her batting average this season.
Well, just incredible. You know, last year she was second team WBL, so she's on everybody's radar. You try to make sure when she's batting there's 2 outs going on, and that was the case there. But she has Van Wert's first hit and extends this first inning.
Up steps a lefty, Emma West. Also a robust batting average at .435. Checks a swing, takes downstairs for ball 1.
West also has 10 extra base hits for the Cougars, so this girl's got a lot of power in the bat.
3 home runs. Heavy hit ground ball on 2 hops to second. Gutierrez makes the routine play, and that will do it for the Cougars here in the top of the first. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Cougars nothing, Bulldogs coming to the plate. You're watching Defiance Girls Sectional Softball on DCTV Sports. Welcome you back to Defiance High School, finishing her warm-ups. This is senior Caitlin Bear. She and Emma West have been doing most of the pitching duties over the past probably 4 to 5 weeks. But being the senior, maybe a bit more experienced, Coach Kennedy electing to go with the senior in the circle. And there you take a look at the defense for the Van Wert Cougars. Again, Caitlin Bear in the circle. She'll be pitching to a sophomore catcher. Now, Scoop, not to say that this has been a sore spot, but Katie Diamikis is a sophomore. She is the number 3 catcher on the depth chart. The starting catcher had an eligibility issue, we're told. Then there was an injury to the backup. So Diamikis has been pulled up from the JV, and she has given more than a good accounting of herself at the varsity level this season.
Yeah, I think Coach Sean Kennedy in his first season will be first to tell you what a luxury that is to have a girl like Diamikis there, who really was kind of penciled in, being a young girl, trying to maybe get her some reps there at the JV level, but forced into duty. And she certainly has done an admirable job here of holding the fort here in a crucial spot. You know, you want to be a good team, you got to be strong up the middle. But she's another one of these Cougars that's really improved throughout each and every game this season.
So she will deal, she being Bear, to the leadoff hitter, Ava Cullen for Defiance. Cullen, just a solid all-around ball player, hitting .556 on the season. Digs in with a very open stance, takes high and away.
And Coach Sean Kennedy has nothing but respect for Ava Cullen, who's proven to be one of the top softball players in this neck of the woods.
Cullen with 8 home runs on the season, 21 RBI. She has scored 30 runs in both of those categories. She is well out in front of the rest of her teammates.
Well, just about every category. You look at stolen bases as well, RBIs, doubles.
Rise ball misses upstairs. Cullen takes 2-2. Again, wind was blowing out to right early. It looks like it's maybe a bit more across the diamond now from left to right. 2-2, got her out on her front foot, swinging through a changeup. It's a pass ball, and they go down to first, and they get the speedy Cullen. That's a Premier Bank strikeout, but score at 2-3 on the putout.
Oh, what a great sequence by Caitlin Bear that time to get Cullen to chase after that pitch on the outer edge. Big first out, keeping Cullen off the base pass.
So that'll bring up the freshman second baseman, Bella Gutierrez, hitting .362 on the season. Takes upstairs. You can hear the chatter in the dugout just beneath our perch here in the press box. Pangle a couple of steps in at third. Gutierrez takes high and outside, ball 2. Outfield playing fairly shallow, especially with that wind blowing across the diamond from left to right, yet ironically Bella Bem is fairly deep in left. As there's a delayed strike call. 2-1, the count to Gutierrez.
Nice pitch that time by Bear. You know, Gutierrez leads the Bulldogs in walks, so she's very disciplined out there, usually will not chase.
Doesn't here.
There's a good hold. That pitch was just off the outside edge there, kind of in the river. But now Gutierrez has worked herself into a hitter's count at 3-1, where she can be very selective here, trying to become the Defiance first base runner.
Slightly open stance as she takes ball 4. That one split the plate, but looked like it might have been just a little bit elevated. And the Bulldogs' leading walk recipient adds to her total. So up steps Vita Caceres. Again, another productive hitter, batting .308 on the season. She's got 5 doubles, a triple, and 11 RBI to her credit.
Remember, Gutierrez has good wheels on first base. Third for the Bulldogs in stolen bases with 5, but a girl that can score from first base on a gap shot.
The 1-0 popped up, right side, drifting over. And our cameraman on top of the third base dugout, Ryan, didn't even flinch.
Nerves of steel over there, no question about it. Understands the importance of manning that camera at all costs.
1-1. Great look from our center field shot. Gives you a look at the inside and the outside as well as the up and down. So that one misses in the cellar. 2 balls and a strike. There you get a good look at first baseman Emma Kennedy. A couple steps in front of the bag. Runner goes. Throw down to second. It is high, and that's a great job to back up the play by second baseman Aubrey Wallet. But a nice job and good timing by Gutierrez as she's into second base with another swipe.
Well, that's big because now you get 2 opportunities to try to drive home Gutierrez, who again has great wheels from second base.
2-2 the count. Saras pops this one into shallow right center, drifting over and in and out of the glove of Haynes. Getting a little greedy and trying to, and she missed her on the tag. Rounding third and coming home to score is Gutierrez.
A great hustle play by Gutierrez. Alertly is able to take home once that throw went to second base. And that time, boy, Defiance capitalizing on that fly ball that just kind of popped out of the glove. Looked like it was going to be a second out there.
We're going to have a courtesy runner at second for Caceres. This is going to be Chloe Seiler, the young freshman. Well, it's one thing to give up the unearned base, but that's just a heads-up base running by Gutierrez. When the play went to second, she didn't stop. As a swing and a foul away, Viviana King-Meeku.
Well, credit Caceres as well. I thought that was a heads-up play. You know, that sort of looked like a routine ball, but she was running hard, and once that popped out of the glove, no hesitation, was able to slide in safely to second base.
I was watching the body language of center fielder Emma Haynes, the sophomore. Scoop, she was there, but so often on balls popped up like that, they've got a ton of English. And that ball literally just squirted out of her glove.
Well, you combine that with the fact that you know Gutierrez has good will. She was tagging on second, so sometimes you maybe try to do things a little bit quicker, but that's what speed will do. Defiance scores the first run.
Meeku barrels this one up to right field. Blythe going back, and did she lose it in the sun? It bounces. They're going to go ahead and wave Seiler around third. She's tripped up, and she will score standing up. And standing into third with an RBI triple, Viviana King-Meeku makes it 2-0 Bulldogs.
Great piece of hitting that time going the other way. And I think you're right, Brent. The elements, the sun there in right field, you're kind of looking directly into it. So that'll go down as a triple.
Yep.
Defiance now is cashed in, scoring 2 early runs, looking for more.
Up steps the designated player. This will be Brooke Gathman. Gathman hitting .294, just an eyelash under 300. Like many of her teammates, an extremely open stance. In fact, she's well off the plate as she rifles this one up the middle underneath the glove of Wallet. That will bring home Meeku. It's now 3-0 Bulldogs.
Well, great things happen when you put the bat on the ball. And that time, that ball hit just hard enough. It gets by Aubrey Wallet there at second base. Another RBI. Defiance now putting up that crooked number here. Still just 1 out here in the home half of inning number 1.
Well, the infield will meet in the circle, and this is Caitlin Bear, the pitcher that's doing most of the talking. Garber at short is a sophomore, so is Kennedy at first. Then you got a couple of upperclassmen. Pangle at third is a senior. Wallet at junior is the second baseman. But right now, I think that meeting is more for nerves than it probably is anything strategic, with only 1 away and a runner at first. And up steps Tegan Zipfel, with a chance to continue the line moving and help out her own cause. Zipfel takes in the cellar for ball 1. Tegan, our player profile, she did the walk from the backstop to the warning track with us. Tremendously well-spoken young lady. And a bright future as she will continue at Defiance College across town as she pops this one up right side, and getting caught off the bag. That's going to be a double play. Wallet caught it, went over to first, and Gathman just maybe a little bit of a brain cramp as she gets doubled up, and that will do it for Defiance here in the bottom of the first, but not before they break the scoreboard first. 3 runs on 2 hits. 1 error, and nobody left aboard. We are through 1. Bulldogs 3, Cougars nothing. Back after this on DCTV Sports. Well, there you get a good look at the Queen and her court, Tegan Zipfel. Now, she's probably too young to remember the Queen and her court. I'm assuming you do, though, correct?
Correct.
And the King in his court.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, back in the 70s and the early 80s.
Played against the King in his court.
Did you? You went up against, oh, that's right, you went up against Annie Fader.
Annie Fader.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman had a chance to go 2 for 2 against arguably the greatest men's softball pitcher ever. I'll leave that story when we got a little bit more downtime here, but you got in your own head in at least one of those at-bats, didn't you?
At least.
Tegan Zipfel will deal. She's got a 3-0 lead. She will deal to Caitlin Baer, the 5-hole. Aubrey Wallet on deck, and the catcher, Katie Diamikis, in the hole. The 1-0 check swing. Did she offer? She did not. And Baer has worked the count to her favor. Now 2 balls, no strikes. Baer hitting .361 on the season. It's Tegan Zipfel. Rocks, fires. A little bit of a late swing, fouled straight back.
Right now, Zipfel pitching with so much confidence. She's really locked in, hitting her spots, and really doing a great job of attacking the zone. Right now, looking for that shutdown inning.
This one, a high fly ball deep to right center, and it's going to be over the head of Ramirez. From her knees, she makes it to the relay, but a leadoff double for Caitlin Baer, and that gives the Cougars their second base runner of the afternoon.
Tremendous piece of hitting by the senior, Caitlin Baer. We talked with Cougar head coach Sean Kennedy. He talked about the importance of going to right field, the way the wind was blowing, you know, for especially those right-hand hitters. And that time, great oppo shot. We will have a pinch runner, but a great start here for the Cougars, trying to get a little bit of those runs back where they gave up the first inning.
So that'll bring up Aubrey Wallet. Second baseman takes a strike on the inside corner. Well, again, we mentioned the only meeting between these two teams was roughly a month ago. It was in Van Wert, and Defiance won it handily, 14-2. They have jumped out to a 3-0 lead as we are back here in the top of the second. You know Coach Kennedy would like to get something this inning, Scoop.
Yeah, you don't have to get all 3 of those runs back, but you want to try to put something. There's a good start, another base hit up the middle. They're going to put the brakes on at third.
Play goes to home, and that's going to allow the trail runner, Wallet, to take an extra station.
Great job by the junior. Wallet that time, not just the base hit up the middle, but then the alert base run. And once that ball was kind of airmailed over the cutoff man, going all the way to home plate, she took off for second base. So right now, Van Wert with runners at second and third, and Defiance has not recorded an out. So right now, Van Wert trying to prevent that shutdown inning and trying to get some of those run back. Golden opportunity right here.
This is the sophomore Katie Diamikis. Coach Kennedy called her over, put his arm around her, just tried to calm her down, keep her focused. As the Cougars threatening here with runners at second and third and nobody out. First pitch swinging. Boy, that looked like it fell right off the table.
Yeah, that ended up kind of being a worm burner there, but could not hold up. And a quick first strike for Zipfel.
The 0-1 trying to nibble on the outside corner. Caceres did a nice job to frame that up. Held it for just an extra second to try and give home plate umpire Steve Trout a look, but he says ball 1. The 1-1 on the way. This one a high fly ball. Bibler is there, but it should be deep enough to score the runner. And instead of going to third, the throw will be cut off as it went up the middle of the field. A sacrifice fly by Diamikis, and the Cougars are on the board.
Yeah, great piece of hitting by the sophomore Diamikis that time. A healthy fly ball to center was easy going to score. Baer from third base, but when that throw went home, great advancements here by Wallet to get to third base.
So 1 away, runner at third. That will bring up Callie Garber.
Well, this would be big here for Van Wert to put up a crooked number, try to get one more run across.
There's, I believe, the changeup, and every now and then that ball just doesn't quite find the right release point off of Zipfel's fingers, and it rolls across home plate. Garber looking at a 1-1 count. Swing and a miss, make it 1-2. Garber entering the day, hitting .310 on the season with 11 RBI.
And right now she wants to be situational. Just try to get a ground ball up the middle that's going to score a run. Well, there's a good hold right there on a quality pitch there from Ziffel, trying to kind of nibble on that corner.
So 2-2. Tegan checks her wristband, sets back, deals. This one, a little humpback line. Oh, what a tremendous backhanded grab off her shoe tops by Gutierrez.
Oh, great job by Gutierrez. That saved a run. You know, that time Van Wert was going on down angle read. They got a good jump off of third base, but once Gutierrez steered it, Van Wert quickly back to third base. That temporarily scratches a run off the board for the Cougars. So now we'll see if Zippel can take advantage with 2 outs.
Brings up the 9-hole. Blythe, who fouls it straight back. But that is a web gem by the sophomore second baseman. She's back there styling with her shades on, going, yep, I do it all the time, right? What a tremendous play.
That really was a tremendous job there, reading that off the bat.
Swing and a miss, and Blythe now down deep in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. And you got to figure if you're taking Zipfel and the Defiance defense, if you can get out of this inning surrendering just 1 run, you'll actually feel pretty good about things. As the 0-2 chopped foul towards the third base dugout.
Yeah, I think this would be huge. You know, after they had second and third, no one out, and you can minimize it to 1 run. I think you're going to take that if you're head coach Denny Parrish. Take that and run with it. Big 0-2 pitch coming up once again.
Zipfel rocks, fires. Again, that one rolls over the plate. Coach Kennedy putting his hands together, trying to keep his 9-hole locked in. Zipfel trying to end it right here. Got her swinging up above the letters, strike 3. And that is another Premier Bank strikeout. It will also end the Cougars' second. Not before Van Wert comes up with 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left the board. 2.5 in the books. Defiance 3, Van Wert 1. Back after this on DCTV Sports. Welcome back to Defiance High School. As Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller saying thank you for joining us. Postseason is underway. First round of the sectionals. Defiance, defending WBL champs, trying to advance. Knock off Van Wert for the 2nd time this season. As Cougar pitcher Caitlin Bear has finished her warm-up, she will deal to the bottom of the order. 7, 8, and 9. Ordway, Ramirez, and Bibler. Ordway digs in. First pitch looked like it might have been a rise ball. Tell you what, I love this shot from center field. Cannot gush about it enough. Just gives us such a different and good perspective on what's happening at home plate. So this one misses outside. 1-1.
All right, now it's going to be very important for Van Wert. They just put up a run, so now they want to make it stand here, get the shutdown inning. Keep momentum on their side of the diamond. That one's going to miss down in the cellar.
Ordway has played in 6 games this season, hitting .333. 2-1. Swung over the top of that one. Count evens up. Outfield, for the most part, straight away, even with that wind blowing out towards right. As a changeup misses inside, and Ordway has worked the count full. You can hear him starting to get a little bit more vocal in the Bulldog dugout. 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4, leadoff walk. Well, we've talked about it before, Scoop. Get that leadoff runner aboard. It just allows you to do so many more things.
It really does, and that's the 2nd walk issued by Caitlin Bear here this afternoon.
Ramirez sends a scorcher into center field under the glove of Haynes. It's going to go all the way to the fence. It's going to be more than enough to score Ordway. Ramirez standing up. She'll slide just for style points into third. And Defiance gets the run back. They surrendered in the top half of this frame to make it 4-1.
Well, that ball was ripped by the junior Ramirez. At that time, a tough play for Emma Haynes out there with a runner on first. She thought about going after it, then she put the brakes on and short hopped her. It was hit so hard it goes to the fence. Going to end up being a triple.
And it was, again, there's a pass ball, and Izzy Ramirez will come home standing upright. And just like that, see, you score that wild pitch or pass ball.
I think that's a wild pitch,
Okay.
and credit Izzy Ramirez. Great read off that. No hesitation once that ball was able to get by Diamicas. And Defiance right now really cashing in on all the freebies they've had this afternoon.
So here's Bigler, slap hitter, sends an ugly finder into the dugout. Everybody getting out of the way. Doesn't look like it caught anybody. How ironic would it be if it catches the medical staff and Jake? Can he treat himself, or does he have to call for somebody else?
It's a great question. I tell you what, Jake's the guy that could probably take care of about anything, though.
Even a cloudy day. This one misses low and outside. Taylor Bibler, I had a chance to talk with Coach Paris as I was watching them take batting practice last week. He said they singled out Taylor Bibler to specifically become the slap hitter. He said she wasn't sure about it at first, but he said she picked it up very quickly. It is not natural for a righty to have to turn around and hit, but she really worked hard, picked it up quicker than they thought, and she's become excellent. Just like that, expanding the zone. And Scoop, she wasn't trying to do anything except buy another pitch there.
Yeah, it was a good approach right there. One of those tough pitches there, just off the outside edge, a little bit too tight there. But again, she certainly has made a nice adjustment doing that. Her numbers back that up.
3-2. This one chopped down to third, gobbled up by Pangle. Long throw, not in time as she legs out the infield single.
Wow, if you're Van Wert, that's frustrating. Here's going to be a stolen base here.
Yep, heads up play by Bibler. She takes an extra station.
That time she went right away in a throwback to Bear there in the circle. No hesitation, realized that second base was really unmanned. So again, great aggressive baseball. What a slap there by Bibler to keep the line moving here.
That's just high softball IQ. And right now the pressure right back on Caitlin Bear and the Cougars.
You know, and it's frustrating if you're Van Wert because you get a ground ball, a one-hopper right to third base, but with the wheels there of Bibler, that's easily an infield single.
Oh, that was a sweet swing by Ava Cullen. Just didn't get the sweet spot of the bat on it as she fouled it straight back.
Well, they did a great job pitching Cullen back in that first inning, but you know it's just a matter of time before she really unleashes one. This is where they love to have her up with runners in scoring position.
And she wears that one in the kidney, and she will slowly make her way down to first base.
Well, that's part of the reason she has that on-base percentage of nearly 600, but a lot of that's from her hitting, obviously. But again, she'll take it for the team. And Defiance really threatening here in this second inning as Van Wert unable to secure an out here through the first four Defiance hitters.
Bulldogs have already plated 2 runs through those first 4 hitters, and Bella Gutierrez stepping up after making that tremendous catch off her shoe tops in the top of the frame as she squares to bunt. Pulls back and takes upstairs.
And she's got such a good eye. That's so important. Even when you're trying to lay down a sac bunt, you need to stay in the zone. Do not help the pitcher out. And now she's worked the count in her favor at 1-0.
Squares to bunt here, comes up empty, and that hit Diamicas right in the chest. Looked like it might have knocked the wind out of her a little bit, and the umpire asking her if she's okay.
Yeah, that's good umpiring right there. Buying her a little time there. That ball was just grazed there, the foul tip. Nice to see she's all right. Count even here at 1-1.
1-1. Do you have her square again, or has she got the green light?
She's greening.
Takes high and away.
And again, very good patience by Defiance, not helping Caitlin Bear out. And now another hitting count coming up here with runners on first and second.
2-1. She was swinging for the downs and comes up empty.
Well, that's a good heater that time by Bear. That time looked like she amped that thing up just a little bit. well located right at the knees. Now a huge pitch coming up here on the 2-2 count.
Popped up. Still on the infield, ranging over, and a nice catch by Wallet. Heads up play by Bibler as she's tagging, and now with a throw going to third, that's again a good piece of recognition as advancing to second is Cullen.
Oh, great base running all the way around. You know, credit Bibler. That ball was caught right on the edge of the outfield grass there, but the fact that Aubrey Wallet, the second baseman, had to catch that ball fading away from third base. Great tag up. Then how about Cullen there taking the back end there, getting second base once that throw went to third.
Again, that's just knowing the situation. As a ground ball to short, they're going to come home, and it's nowhere close to being in time. Garber, and now they get caught napping and rounding first and heading into second. Caceres will be safe.
Again, great base running by Defiance as that time Caceres reaches on the fielder's choice. And then once that throw went home, she just really rounded first nicely. No hesitation again. And that's one of those situations for Van Wert, the importance of knowing where the speed is on the bases. When you got a girl like Taylor Bibler on third base on a slow roller to shortstop, no way you're not going to throw out the senior going home. So that's one of those situations you got to communicate. You should be hollering first base all the way. But again, credit Defiance. They're taking advantage of some of those miscues here by the Cougars. And for the second consecutive inning, they put up a crooked number, looking for more here with just one out.
Only one away, and the 4-hole hitter, Viviana King-Mayeku, set to dig in. Defiance plated 3 in the bottom of the first. They have plated 3 here in the bottom of the second, and they're looking for more. As Scoop mentioned, with only one away, and now runners at second and third. Mayeku, good rip. Viviana King-Mayeku hitting .340 entering today's contest. Pops this one straight back and out of play.
Oh, that's a good-looking swing from King-Mayeku that time. She was kind of sitting on the fastball, got it, but fouls it back. Wow, that was a great-looking swing. We'll see if she could time one up right here.
She's got 11 RBI on the season. Oh, and that one goes off of her shoe, and she wears one for the team, and now the bases are loaded for Brooke Gaffman.
You know, I know that doesn't look like much, but that's just a smart play, again, by King-Mayeku. That time she's down the count 0-2. There's one in the dirt at her feet. Instead of bailing out of the way, she sort of wears it for the team. And now the bases are juiced here with just one out.
Gaffman takes a strike on the inside corner. She's 1 for 1 this afternoon, singled, brought home a run back in the first inning.
And that's a good hold right there. That was a tough pitch there, kind of running in on her right at the knees, inside corner, a good hold.
This one fairly well struck into right field, and it will get down, bouncing in front of Blythe. 1 run is home. Everybody advances station to station. It's now the 4th run of the inning for the Bulldogs, making it 7-1 Defiance.
Credit to senior Brooke Gaffman. Again, the key to that at bat was just holding on that tough first pitch, taking that early strike, and then she got one a little bit more of the plate. And now she has her second hit of the ball game. Defiance enjoying this 7-1 advantage.
Here's Tegan Zipfel trying to help out her own cause. She could come up with a base hit here. It's already a healthy lead at 7-1, but she could really blow this thing open.
And this is when you really need to strike. You got a team down here. They're doubting themselves, so try to keep that foot on the accelerator. Boy, there's a good-looking pitch right there that just catches the inside edge and really right at the top of the strike zone.
Zipfel steps out. I don't blame her. And that's a pitch that you're probably only going to fist and pop up if you do offer. So now with 2 strikes, ground ball to short. It rolls up, and this is going to be airmailed over towards the dugout as Garber sends it. Was that a dead ball into the dugout, or did it bounce off of the fence? I was creening around one of the support posts here, but that's going to bring home a couple of runs. And now all of a sudden it's 9-1.
Well, credit Defiance. They continue to put pressure in this Van Wert defense. They continue to put the ball in play. It's been tough sledding here for the Cougars. as Defiance now has erupted for 9 runs here through the first inning and a third.
Only one away, and they have hit around in this inning. Ordway led it off with a walk. She will dig in for the second time this inning, and that's going to be a pass ball off of D'Amicis. That's going to allow an extra stand. Look at this. Aggressive base running. There'll be a play at the plate. Not in time. The courtesy runner, Story Krebs, for taking Zippel, will score.
Well, you just have to love the aggressiveness from Defiance. And, you know, this is how this Bulldog team was able to secure a piece of that WBL title this year. The fact that they put pressure on opposing defenses. And this is not only fun to watch, this is fun if you're a player where you know there's no hesitation. You're looking for that extra 60 feet.
Yep.
And Defiance has taken advantage how many times here through the first couple innings?
Right now, if you're Defiant, you're playing with house money, aren't you? I mean, you're up by 10 right now. Still only 1 out. Swing and a miss by Ordway makes it 1-1.
Quality swing, but just a little bit better pitch that time from Bear. But absolutely, Brent, you're playing with house money right now. You're just trying to keep that dial going, trying to put as much pressure on the Cougars as you can.
1-2. She went after a pitch downstairs, but it squirts past the mid of D'Amicis. And for the second time in this ball game, a pass ball or a wild pitch on a third strike allows for another base runner.
Yeah, that's going to be a Premier Bank strikeout, but it will not be recorded as an out. That'll be a strikeout and a wild pitch. And again, Defiance cashes in one more time.
So here's Izzy Ramirez digging in, trying to keep the line going. She hit a triple earlier this inning. It was a sinking line drive to center field. Emma Haynes came on and just got caught in between. She didn't get a glove on it. It went cleanly past her as this one sails to the backstop. Another 60 feet for Ordway on another wild pitch. And right now, Defiance is just firing on all cylinders.
They really are. They've done such a great job of not leaving the zone, being very disciplined at the plate. They've put a lot of pressure on Van Wert by being aggressive on the base pass. They continue to do a good job of really putting Caitlin Bear in play. They've only hit a couple balls hard, actually, but again, they've done a nice job of avoiding the strikeout. But again, when you run at bases aggressively, you make teams forced into mistakes.
And there's a called strike on the inside corner. Ramirez just looks over at assistant coach Josh Schock, who's coaching the third base box, and kind of winces a forced smile. Hey, that wasn't your pitch. Dig back in and look for yours. 2-2, scoots her off the plate.
Yeah, right now Bear really trying to disrupt the timing of Defiance. We saw that really good changeup on the pitch before. That was a good looking heater, but it just had a little bit too much arm side run. Misses inside.
3-2, scoots her off the plate. Ball 4. Lime keeps moving. Runners at first and second. Here's Taylor Bibler. Bulldogs have already plated 8 runs here in the bottom of the second. They lead by 10. Still only 1 away. Bear deals. Bibler slapping it away, foul.
You remember Bibler had that tremendous at bat earlier in this inning where she really did a great job of working the pitch count.
Yep.
Fought off some tough pitches, and then she was able to get that slap single to third base that Van Wert fielded cleanly, made a nice strong throw, but she just beat it out.
Yep. That's what speed will do for you. 11-1. Just looking at the body language right now of the Cougars, and as you could expect, just kind of shell-shocked. What just happened? We were only down by 2. Ooh, as she's running out of the box. That's a forced smile, and she can at least laugh at herself a little bit as she points at the crown of her helmet going, yeah, I went after a ball.
Yeah, that was one of those high risers that just kept going higher and higher, but she could just not hold up. So count now at 1-2.
1-2, popped up. D'Amicis is there and makes the basket catch for the second out.
A good job of getting out of the crouch there by D'Amicis. And that elusive second out is finally had, but Van Wert not out of the woods yet. as that turns the lineup over to Ava Cullen, looking to tack on maybe an RBI or two right here.
Cullen digs in, takes low around the shoe tops. Cullen hit by a pitch earlier in this inning. She also struck out swinging back in the first. Bottom of the second, her third trip to the plate. 1-0. Ooh, and that you could hear that thud over our camera mics off the knee. Now she's going to be tough and trot her way down the first base line, and Brooklyn Barsowitz is there and just kind of high fives her, but you feel that one. And out comes Coach Kennedy for a meeting in the circle.
Yeah, they never feel good, but that was probably in one of those spots that's going to be a little bit more painful.
Yep.
And there looks like Van Wert will go to the bullpen.
And this is going to be Emma West. So what we're going to do is take a quick timeout. This First Insurance Group call to the bullpen. We'll give you the details on Emma West, the details right now. Defiance has exploded for 8 runs in the bottom of the second. They lead it 11-1. We're back after this on DCTV Sports. Well, there you see the fist pump. Emma West has now come in to pitch in place of Caitlin Bear. Emma West, underclassman, just a sophomore. And she's had some pitching chores over the last probably about 4 weeks or so, Scoop. They've been rotating between her and Caitlin Bear. But unfortunately for Caitlin Bear, after another hit batter, it just looked like it's tough. I'm not sure what adjective I would use there, but when you just have scored a run, you're down by 2 against a heavy favorite and you're feeling good, and all of a sudden, an error here, couple walks there, hit batter there, and you look up and now you're down by 10. It's mental as much as it is physical.
Well, you're right. It's probably just about all mental. The fact that she pitched really well, I thought, that first inning, but had nothing to show for it. The fact that they had a drop fly ball.
Oh, this one's well smoked into center field. It will roll all the way to the wall. And it's probably going to empty them. Nope, they're going to go ahead and hold Cullen up at third. But a 2 RBI double by Bella Gutierrez as the plane keeps on soaring higher. It's 13-1 Bulldogs.
That ball was crushed. Gutierrez that time was not fooled, and that was just a line shot that went all the way to the fence and straight away center field. And she drives home 2 runs there with that nice stand-up double, and it keeps the line moving.
So here's Caceres digging in.
Make no question about it. Cullen would have been scoring if that was the go-ahead run. They were sending her all the way, but just I think a matter of sportsmanship. They were putting on the brakes there.
This one popped back and into the stands. You can hear the Bulldogs barking in the dugout.
Well, they were energetic early, and they have not lost an ounce of that energy. They've been so into this ball game, and you mentioned the fact you were at practice there last night, Brent, and certainly they understand what's on the line here.
This is a shot underneath the glove of Wallet. 1 will score. They'll go ahead and wave Gutierrez around third. She will touch home plate. And the hits just keep on coming. 12 runs now in this third inning to make it 15-1 Bulldogs.
Well, it's just incredible. Defiance here. We're still in the second inning. They've had every batter on base at least once, and I believe 6 of them have been on base twice. So the hit parade continues. Another clutch 2-out hit. And 12 big runs here in this second inning alone.
Chloe Seiler will come in to courtesy run as King Maeku takes a heavy cut. From the Bulldogs' perspective, again, we've talked about this like playing with house money if you're going to a casino, but you don't want to be the one to end the ride. You want to keep it going. Swing and a miss here. Nobody wants to be the second or the third out if you're in a Defiance uniform. You want to say, let's keep it on.
Well, no question about it. You know, we've been in those dugouts before, and you certainly know the mindset. You're going up there thinking base knock, try to keep the line moving.
The 0-2, this one a slow roller, and that's a heads-up play by Pangle to let it go foul.
Yeah, Pangle's a solid player, both offensively and defensively, and that time alertly grabs that softball before it maybe found its way back into fair territory there with a little bit of English on it.
The 0-2, West desperately looking for the second out of the inning. Ahead in the count, got her swinging, strike three.
That's a Premier Bank strikeout to end this second inning, but it was a good one for Defiance as they put up 12 big runs to take a 15-1 advantage heading into third inning. Don't be back. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
There you
with
go.
More here on DCTV. Defiance right now in control, up 15-1.
You get a good look from our third base camera on top of the dugout. Meeting on the infield, Tegan Zipfel. Well, hope your arm hasn't iced up there, Queenie. She had a long wait in that dugout, but she has a big lead after a 12-run bottom of the second. It's 15-1 Defiance.
Just incredible what the Bulldogs did, but you can see that Zipfel still really locked in out there.
That's a good-looking curve. Held by the shortstop and leadoff hitter Alexis Pangle. It's 1-0.
Now remember, Pangle, one of the top hitters for Van Wert, and there she takes a healthy swing at a changeup, and that evens the count up at 1-1. But Pangle, a .306 hitter, leads the team in home runs with 4.
She's got some power.
Also leads in triples and also runs scored. Boy, that's a great pitch right there that just paints that outside corner. Now Alexis Pangle, the senior, in a hole at 1-2.
Boy, that almost just framed up. That was a good pitch by Tegan Zipfel and an even better hold by Pangle.
You're right. Great pitch there. Just missed off the plate, but again, she's hitting her spots, try to get Pangle to chase.
This one well struck into right field, and Ramirez will have to play it off the wall. She does so well. Will there be a play at second? There will not, as Pangle stands up with a leadoff double.
Great swing there by Pangle, and again, what made that at bat happen, laying off that tough 2-strike pitch, maybe just a couple inches off the plate. And that time she got one over the plate. Great job again, driving it the other way to that right center field wall.
That didn't miss getting out of here by much.
No,
that hit about halfway up the wall.
She's awfully good.
First pitch swinging, ground ball to short. Cullen comes up, gunning. There'll be a play at third, and sliding in safely, Pangle beats the throw.
Oh, nice job that time by that Defiance defense. You got a big lead, so make sure of an out. Then we saw a nice strong throw from Jalad there at first base. Trying to catch Pangle going to third. Throw not in time, but a big first out for Defiance, trying to get that shutdown inning.
So with one away, here's Kennedy digging in. Check swing, fouls it away. Kennedy 1 for 1 with a single up the middle. All right, here's my trivia for you, because we've been kind of loosely having some fun with the Queen and her court. Everybody knows that follows softball back in the 70s and the 80s knew Eddie Feiner was the king with his court. But do you remember who the Queen was for the Queen and the court? It was a trio of sisters.
I can picture them. I can see the photo, but I could not tell you a name.
If I give you a first name, that's as far as I'll go. Rosie. This one fouled straight back Oh, I can see you straining.
Well, I've got a program at home. It's got her on the front. I'm just trying to I'm drawing a blank there, thinking of names. But you know, Fainer's the only one I could tell you from the King's Court. But man, those guys could play. You had Fainer.
This one, high fly ball, but playable to right field, battling the sun. Ramirez has it. The runner will tag and slide home safely. Pangle pretty much manufactured that run with the leadoff double, the aggressive running on the ground ball to short, and then scoring on the sacrifice fly by Emma Kennedy.
Well, that's why it's so important to get that extra 60 feet. You know, when she came over on that routine ground ball to third base, you know, if she's on second, that's just a routine fly ball, another out. Instead, it ends up being a sac RBI, and there's going to be the end of the inning. Nice play there by Amira Jalad there at first base to minimize things and keep the Cougars to just one run here in this third inning.
Comes on one hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are through 2.5. We'll let everybody know who the queen with the queen in her court was when we come back. We head to the bottom of the third right after this. You're watching Bulldog Softball on DCTV Sports. Bottom of the third, we welcome you back to Defiance High School. Brent Balvin alongside Scoop Miller. 5, 6, and 7, Gaffman, Zipfel, and Ordway set to take their cuts against the new Cougar reliever. Emma West came on with only one down in the bottom of the last frame. It was a frame that Defiance blew this game open with 12 runs in the bottom of that frame. They now lead it 15-2. After the Cougars score one in the top half of here the third. Gaffman, third inning, third trip to the plate. She's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. First pitch swinging sends a liner and a nifty snare by Wallet, who drops to a knee.
That really was a great play by Wallet. She got a great read there off the bat. It looked like it might be the third hit of the afternoon for Gaffman. Instead, a fine play by the second baseman Wallet and a quick first out for Van Wert.
Here's Tegan Zipfel digging in. Tegan hit into a 4-3 double play to end the first. Reached on an error by the shortstop in the second. Came around to score one of those 12 runs. The 1-0. This one well struck deep into the left center field gap. Nobody will get there. One hops off the wall, and she's going around second, digging for 3. Head first in just for style points. Tegan Zipfel with a one-out triple.
Wow, what a shot there by Tegan Zipfel. That had to feel good. That ball really jumped off the bat there. A solid-looking swing. Landed right there in the warning track in that left center field gap, and she was hauling all the way.
I was going to say, are they going to leave her in to run? They never do, and at third, she is going to give way to Story Krebs, the freshman. That'll bring up Natalie Ordway. Hit around, as did many of her teammates just a frame ago.
Ordway looking for her first hit, but she's already scored 2 runs in this ball game.
She's got a walk and a strikeout, but advanced to first on a wild pitch. The 1-0. This one well struck up the middle. It's got eyes. It will get through. Krebs will score. And Defiance continues to keep the pressure on. It's now 16-2.
That's a great swing there by the freshman, Natalie Ordway. That time she's able to turn that softball around. And now she's been on base 3 times here through the first 3 innings. Looking to score her 3rd run of the afternoon.
Here's Izzy Ramirez digging in, takes a healthy cut. Can't barrel it up. All right, so we left everybody hanging. The king in his court, Eddie Fainer, professional softball player, professional female softball team, the Queen and her court. It was primarily comprised of a group of 3 sisters, a brother who dressed up in a wig, and a couple of family friends. As this one, a ground ball right side, it will get through. Gobbled up by Blythe. Aggressive base running. Ordway will round second. She will hold up at third. And the line keeps moving for Defiance.
Just impressive what Defiance continues to do. Another solid base hit, but I love the base running from Ordway. That ball was hit behind her the right field. You saw her take a peek over here to the third base coach's box, saw the green light, so she just kept going. Great job going first and third on that base hit to right.
Here's Bibler digging in and takes a strike. So Scoop, I gave you the first name of the Queen, the pitcher of the Queen in her court. It was Rosie. You giving up? You going to throw in the towel on this one?
I never give up, but I can sense I'm running out of time.
This one a liner off the glove of Garber and into center field. It will score 1. Ramirez chugging around second. Almost overslid the bag, but she is safe. And a heads-up piece of base running again. Bibler with the play going to third will take second.
Again, great base running all the way around. I love the aggressiveness going first and third, but how about Bibler able to take the back in there once that throw goes to third base. So now the lineup turns over to Ava Cullen.
Cullen digging in. First pitch swinging, sends a ground ball to short. Coming up with it, and a nice play by Garber across the diamond. However, they will trade an out for the run as Izzy Ramirez will touch home. They get back the run they surrendered in the top half of this frame, +1.
And Brent, how about Defiance? All 9 hitters have been on base at least twice here through not even 3 innings. Well, you talk about getting production.
Oh,
1
wow.
through 9.
Smacking this one letter high off the bat of Gutierrez, right center, all the way to the wall. Look at her truck, picking him up and laying him down. She wants 3, and she'll get it standing up. RBI triple for Bella Gutierrez.
Gutierrez just had another gear. That ball was well struck, gets to the wall in a hurry, but boy, she had that extra gear, and she's in standing up at third base, another extra base hit. That time she's able to take advantage of that high fastball. Great piece of hitting going the other way.
With the triple in the RBI, here's Caceres sending this one to second. A little bit, boy, that's a close play. But the umpire says she got her in time. Score at 4-3 for the third out. Not before they continue to move the line as they continue to pad their lead. 4 runs through the bottom of the third. They're pushing 20. Defiance 19. Van Wert 2. We're back after this on DCTV Sports. Well, they don't design scorebooks for batting around in multiple innings. We think we're right. The chicken scratch here is becoming difficult to read. What we can tell you is we know the scoreboard is right. 3 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second, 4 runs in the third. It's now 19-2. Defiance leading. Oh, you cheated. I was going to say Defiance leading Van Wert. Scoop Miller went to his resource material and looked up Rosie Baird, the Queen and her court.
Well,
is that a picture of you?
I'm looking at the picture.
Okay.
I wanted to show you that picture because it's driving me nuts because I can see it, the program in one of my books at home.
Rosie Baird, I watched this as a very young man. It was on the ABC's Wide World of Sports. Anybody that's probably under 40 wouldn't remember it, but ABC used to have coverage of unique sports, everything from bowling to ski jumping to skydiving, hence the Wide World of Sports. I watched Rosie Baird and the Queen in her court play at Riverfront Stadium once, and she struck out 3 Cincinnati Reds. The last one, shortstop Dave Concepcion, who was a tremendous ball player, and she threw strike 3 from second base. It was impressive.
Just incredible.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ziffel deals this one, a routine grounder to second. That's just a nifty play. I'll tell you what, looking more and more comfortable over at second. Bella Gutierrez, she's no longer an underclassman.
No, she's really playing well, as the rest of this Defiance team. And how about Ziffel also realizing that she's not trying to strike out every hitter. She's trying to get hitters to hit her pitch, and she's been masterful here this afternoon.
She rolls this one over the outside corner. Defiance is going to get a good one. There is plenty of Division I and certainly college level talent on this roster. It's going to be fun to watch it continue to grow and improve over the coming seasons. One-on-one. Ziffel deals. This one popped up. It will get over the first base dugout. Now Ziffel ahead in the count 1-2. Normally I would say, is this where maybe you waste a pitch or try something finesse, but that's just not taking Ziffel's style.
No, you just come with your best stuff here, you know, probably hit the edge.
And she can field her own position as the number comes back to her. She says, hey, I'll help myself out. Score at 1-3, 2 away.
Well, she's been so efficient this afternoon. She has really avoided those negative counts, those 3-ball counts. She has gotten top of just about every Van Wert hitter here this afternoon, and right now just doing a great job pitching with the lead.
2 up, 2 down for Katie D'Amicus. Underclassman catcher, brought up from the JV after the first 2 in the lineup were unavailable. She has done more than yeoman's work behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. D'Amicus with a sacrifice fly. Boy, and that was smoked. Ordway barely had time to react as it immediately scooched past her leather. The look on her face was one of what just happened. How about this? The little engine that could. The sophomore catcher, Katie D'Amicus, I'd say probably one to keep an eye on in the WBL, Scoop.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, a solid catcher defensively, but that was a good-looking swing that time. She turned that softball around and was able to quickly get it past Ordway at third base.
So with 2 down, a runner aboard, brings up Callie Garber. First pitch swinging, popped up right side. The complex here at Defiance. It's just enough space between baseball and softball, but again, it is tight. It's not uncommon for a wayward or foul ball from one diamond to the other to work their way on to their neighbor. Every time I walk through the entrance here, Scoop, I just keep looking around thinking how incredible both these facilities are. And it's not just at the high school level for comparison. Is this one a grounder to third? Gobbled up by Ordway as she goes across the diamond, and the freshman says that's how it's done. Score at 5-3 on the putout. Despite the 1-out single, no damage done by the Cougars. No runs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left the board. We're through 3.5. Back after this, Defiance up big, 19-2. You're watching DCTV Sports. Well, you can be loose. Now go back and frame that up. Absolutely. They're just enjoying themselves in the third base dugout, and why not?
Well, that's supposed to be fun, and certainly maybe a little bit more fun for Defiance here this afternoon as they really have come to play and they've gotten production. There you look at that third base roof cam there.
Yep.
One of our own getting into it there.
Why not? Having a little fun at the ballpark. 19-2, Defiance. I'm beginning to wonder, will we see maybe some different names and numbers? Story Krebs, just as I was about to speak, looks like she is going to hit. This is in the place of the 4-hole. It is the 4th inning, but Viviana King-Maku was originally scheduled to hit here. Story Krebs will pick up a bat. And what's going on here? We're waiting on something. They need a new ball out of the Van Wert dugout. Not sure what happened there. So Krebs. Will get set for the okay, and she will dig in. Krebs entering the day, hitting .235. Oh, wait a minute, there we go. Steve Trout, the home plate umpire, was ready to call time for play, and somebody must have reminded him, you got to wear your mask. So he puts it on, and Krebs takes a healthy cut on her first pitch. Looks like a fastball, strike one.
That's not the first time I've seen that happen.
Krebs kind of tomahawks this one off of West. It's going to die a quick death on the infield, and that will be an infield single. And they're checking to make sure that Emma West is okay, and she nods yes to the dugout.
Another great swing this time by Story Krebs that time, as that ball was laced right up the middle. Emma West was able to get a glove on it, but just could not corral it. So that'll go down as an infield base hit for Krebs. And Defiance continues to swing a hot bat.
And Amira Jalad is going to come to the plate. She was the flex player earlier in this game, but she's going to be allowed to pick up a bat, and she wears one. So an inauspicious beginning to the 4th inning for Emma West.
Yeah, Defiance continues to find ways to get runners on base. So now 2 quick base runners here for Defiance, and once again they're threatening here in this 4th inning.
Checking to see who's going to hit in the place of Tegan Zipfel as the rotations are now on. This is Jalisa Montez. Montez looking at an 0-1 count. This one well struck down the right field line, and Blythe pulled off of it. This is going to score a pair. Krebs will come home. Rounding third, Jalad will score a 2 RBI double by Jalicia Montez. And everybody getting in on the act here for Defiance.
Wow, what a shot there by Montez. Great piece of hitting. We talked about the importance of going the other way here, especially with the wind conditions. And wow, Defiance continues to really rack up the hits and the runs.
Yep.
As that plated run number 20 and 21.
And checking to see who will hit now. As I believe this is going to be Chloe Seiler. That's 25. Is it 25? Turn around. I'm being screened out. Okay. Chloe Seiler will pick up a bat. Jordan Bush looks like she's standing in the on-deck circle. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking up here. There is one player who has not yet come to bat so far in this ball game. It's Isabella Rallison. And I'm wondering if maybe she will get an opportunity here before it's all said and done. Well, they're having fun in the dugout, and why not? And on the other end, just the tremendous frustration and that sinking feeling if you are in the Van Wert dugout. You're just wondering, what do we have to do? 3 runs in the first, 12 in the second, 4 in the third, already 2 runs across here in the 4th. And that one squirts off the mitt of Diamikis. And they're just celebrating everything right now. It's just everybody's birthday in the Defiance dugout.
Yeah, that time Montez advances a third there on the wild pitch, and the dugout once again erupts, but they've been that way this entire game. So much energy.
Chloe Seiler, scoop, hitting .273 on the season. And you know this is your opportunity, right? It's a blowout, but you're like saying, Coach, I want to show you why I deserve more playing time, why you can go to me more. Seiler with the 2-0 count. Humpback liner just over the outstretched glove of Garber. That will score Montez, an RBI single for Seiler.
Now Defiance continues to rack up the hits, and how about Chloe Seiler coming in there, getting the pinch hit, base hit, and an RBI with it.
So Seiler with an RBI single makes it 22-2. As Jordan Bush will now pick up a bat. Out of play. And we'll take a peek at Jordan's stats. She has played in 5 games and looking to establish a batting average here. Opportunity to do it with a runner aboard. This one a little high and tight.
That was a good hold, a good-looking rise ball that time from Emma West. Things started out right at the top of the strike zone, but continue to rise. Good hold to even up the count at 1-1.
Oh, this one well upstairs. Taylor Bibler is scheduled to hit on deck. I'm not sure who it's going to be. I can't tell anybody's come out of the dugout yet. Got to be a lonely feeling, too, if you're Emma West. You're sitting there trying to find the strike zone. You're trying to get a quality pitch as this one laced down the left field line, just hooked foul. That didn't miss by much.
Wow, another great piece of hitting. That ball was maybe hit too hard as that ball just hooked enough. Looked like it was going to be extra bases off the bat, but another healthy swing here by Defiance and Jordan Bush. Now to get the count even here at 2-2.
Looking to record the first out here in the Defiance 4th. Bush scoots off the plate. Three balls and a strike. West with a deep breath. Lefty releases. This one a shot again, just hooked foul down the third base line.
Well, that was a tough pitch that time. 3-2 count. Emma West goes with that high rise ball once again. And Bush able to pull it foul. So payoff pitch coming up one more time.
They've already plated 3 this inning. Bush trying to keep the line moving. 3-2, a little early again, fouled away.
Once again, good looking swing, just a little bit too far out in front. And West and Bush continue to battle here.
West, long look in, sets, deals, Bush takes, ball 4. Seiler goes to second and waiting to see who's going to hit. Is it number 17? Yes, it is. It is Isabella Rallison. And as I double check the roster, I believe everybody in a Bulldog uniform has now come to the plate today. She takes strike 1. Well, the question is how many cheers can they come up with here today? Is this one a shot up the middle, past the diving Wallet, and they're going to go ahead and hold the runner Seiler up at third. That is sportsmanship. And Coach Bush looking over at Seiler, and she gives him kind of that shrug. You just saw the body language. She's like, Coach, I could have scored. And he just gave her the quick nod, I know.
You're right, but how about the depth here, Defiance? Rowson coming in, and she quickly delivers a base knock up the middle. I just wish your dad could hit that well for me when he played for me at Edgerton High School.
Oh, taking a four-wheel drive trip down memory lane with Scoop Miller. We're going to take a quick timeout as we've got another First Insurance Group call to the bullpen. 22-2, Defiance with the lead. We'll give you the name. It's going to be Caitlin Bear. They're bringing Bear, the starter, back into the ballgame. We'll catch our breath when we come back. You're watching Bulldog Softball on DCTV Sports. Well, the second call to the bullpen of the afternoon for Van Wert. A First Insurance Group call to the bullpen. And they go back to tonight's starter, Caitlin Bear, as Emma West, unfortunately not able to fare much better as first pitch swinging. Ava Cullen lines a sizzler just foul down the left field line.
Yeah, good looking swing by Cullen. And it's hard to believe. You look at Cullen's numbers, we all know how impressive they've been.
Yes.
You know, last year, I don't mention Ohio, she's the only Bulldog doesn't have a hit tonight that's batted. That's what's crazy.
She's been hit by a pitch twice. She does have 2 runs scored, as this one misses upstairs and outside, 1-1. Well, we don't need the sound effects. They're doing it themselves. 1-1, still nobody down here in the Defiance fourth. This one popped up, and it will get out of play on the mezzanine. It's one of those differences, and I will say this, Defiance baseball has kind of their drum beat, their routine. They've got a couple of chants they go with. As this one's well struck deep to left field, but that wind's going to knock it down, and it's dropped by Beam. 1 run will come home and score, and that's it. Just 60 feet for everybody else. And Caitlin Bear's reaction there says it all. She just kind of threw her palm up skyward.
Yeah, and again, we talked about how we thought she was really effective that first inning, but they had dropped fly ball, they had a misjudged fly ball, they had a ground ball that got away from them that easily could have got out of that first inning. Instead, it just kind of snowballed from there. And that will go down as a E7, but a sac fly there for Cullen, as that easily would have scored the run from third.
It scores Bush, as this one well hit into right field and misplayed by Blythe. And again, station to station. Another runner coming home. This time Bush crosses home plate and is, 24 now? I'm losing count. It is 24-2.
Yeah, this is one of those games that Van Wert is going to kind of have a hard time erasing from their minds, as things have just not gone their way on either side of the field. You know, their defense has struggled at times. And how about Ziffel really keeping their hitters off balance? They've squared up a few softballs here tonight, but Ziffel's just been a great job of really being effective and just not allowed a walk here tonight.
Here's Caceres stepping in. Vita, 2 runs scored, a single to her credit. Still nobody down. Scoop, I'm not saying this in any other manner except respect. You got to play 5, no matter how many runs you are down or up by in the case of Defiance. I have worked in other states where it's been 15 runs and 2 runs earlier. So in this case, it would be 3rd inning, 15-run rule. And that's USA, correct? Yep, and that's USA. Would the Ohio High School Athletic Association, I don't want to say be wise, but would it be worth a conversation to have something like this? Because at this point, you've got nothing to prove if you're the team that's up by 20-plus runs.
Well, I don't mind the rule the way it is, but what I'd like to see added is mutual consent by both coaches.
Prior to first pitch?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Or even during, I'm saying, the fact that, when you get to this point.
I think we had a strikeout there, did we not?
We had a Premier Bank strikeout.
Okay, so Caceres goes down.
Elusive out there for Van Wert here in this 4th inning.
They still need 2 more. As Story Krebs will hit for the 2nd time this frame.
Yeah, we had a sectional baseball game one time. This was baseball, but we were up 26-2, and this was back before they had the run rule.
This one a shot to second, gobbled up by Wallach, goes to first. A run will score as Rallison will cross the plate. It's now 25-2. Go ahead and finish that thought,
No.
Scoop.
Well, and we were up 26-2. There's 2 outs to go in the 7th inning, and rain came, and they made both teams come back the next day to finish that out.
Wow.
So they made you go to completion, but eventually they went to the 15-run rule. Then they went to the 10-run rule.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, it has to be after 5.
As this one sails to the backstop, quickly on it, Diamikis. As Jalad will dig in for the 2nd time in this ball game. We want to remind everybody we will be on the other side of the sports complex here tomorrow morning, breakfast at the ballpark, as the Defiance baseball team will be hosting Liberty Benton. And then we have got a very busy schedule next week beginning on Monday. We've got sectionals transitioning into districts for softball. We've got baseball getting the start with their sectionals. We've got a lot of ball that we're going to be covering. It will start on Monday with Ayersville softball at Bryan. I'm trying to think. I think we have Tuesday off, or did we put something on the – I seriously don't remember. Off on Tuesday, then off on Wednesday, then Thursday out at Ayersville for baseball opening round of sectionals.
Yeah, this is the fun time of the year. You've got all these teams in the area here that are so solid this year on both the softball side and baseball side, and then you throw in the fact you've got tournament games.
3-1, swing and a miss, makes it 3-2. Then next Friday, Fostoria comes to town. Defiance hosts the opening round of sectionals. Then should Defiance softball continue to win next week, they will be at Racer Park for what would be a noon first pitch on Saturday. But we won't put the cart before the horse. There's a swing and a miss by Jalad, and that will do it for Defiance here in the bottom of the 4th. They continue to tack on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs, correct? Nope, 6. 6 runs, 25-2 as we head to the top of the 5th. We're back with more right after this on DCTV Sports. Back at Defiance High School, we head to the top of the 5th, barring the most miraculous of miracle comebacks. This should be the final inning of this ball game. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Defiance 25, Van Wert 2. Opening round of the sectional playoffs. It is a 10-run rule via the Ohio High School Athletic Association handbook. 10 runs, but you got to play through 5. This game could have ended earlier if they'd have the secondary rule that Scoop was talking about. And I know you don't see this often, Scoop, but they call it a mercy rule for a reason. I know in the state of Iowa they used to have 50 points in football, and it didn't matter when the game was. The minute you were down by 50, the game stopped. And that almost was considered to be a guillotine to the head, so they went to the running clock. In a situation like this, again, a little different in baseball because you play to the final out. You're not waiting for a buzzer to sound. But at the same time, a 15-run rule through what, 3 or at the very least 4 here is no disrespect, is it?
No, and they do that in Michigan. I've called many of their tournament games up there in regular season. They have that type of rule up there in Michigan. But the good thing about this, Brent, is the fact that we've seen it here. Defiance has got a lot of kids some reps here
Absolutely.
that would not have gotten some reps. So we're also, you talked about this is your chance to show the coach what you can do, where these Defiance kids that have come off the bench today, they really give Coach Parrish something to think about. They've really delivered for him coming up time and time again here tonight.
Katie Blythe leads off with an infield single, a grounder off the glove of Tegan Zipfel. That will roll the lineup over one more time, and Alexis Pangle wants at least one more at bat. Pangle, the senior, takes a hefty swing. She was going for the downs, came up empty. She doubled off the fence to right field back in the 3rd inning.
And that single by Blythe was a 6 hit off of Zipfel here tonight for Van Wert.
This one misses on the inside corner, 1-2.
Well, that's a great looking 0-2 pitch. You're really hitting your spots here. Again, good hold that time not to chase.
Buster inside again, evens up the count at 2-2. Well, again, Defiance, the number 4 seed in their bracket. They will advance to next Wednesday. As this one fouled back, they will take on the winner. Most likely, it's going to be Bryan. They're the number 1 seed coming out of the top half of that bracket.
Yeah, Bryan has a very solid pitcher, a couple really good hitters as well.
Well, they played a dandy last year. Is this one a high fly ball deep to left center and laying out, but Rallison cannot come up with it. It will be a long single as Blythe had to hold to read it down. And Defiance got very fortunate there that they don't have runners at the corners.
Tremendous effort out there by Ralston. Almost made a tremendous play, but the effort is what you look for in the coach. And that time, consecutive hits here by Van Wert.
We are going to have a pinch hitter here for Emma Kennedy. This is going to be Lily Cerna, a sophomore infielder. Cerna has yet to establish a batting average this season as she takes a cup there and comes up empty. Cerna takes upstairs. One, two, got her swinging.
Well, that's a Premier Bank strikeout there by Zipfel. Just her 2nd of the night, but again, she really hasn't needed it. She's trusted her defense. She's done such a great job of getting hitters in negative counts.
So up steps Emma Kennedy. Inside out swing and over the head of, I believe that's Jordan Bush now out and right. They'll wave the runner around 3rd. And they'll hold up Pangle at 3rd. So it's 25-3 as Blythe comes home to score.
Great swing that time by Kennedy, who's the top Cougar hitter all season long at .481. That's her 28th hit of the season. She now has 2 hits for the Cougars here tonight.
This will be Emma West digging in from the left side. Tegan Zipfel has allowed 3 hits in this inning, trying to lock back in, finish up strong. 0-1, smacks the ball in her mitt. Trying to get ready to deal to Emma West. Off speed. Oh, what a snare by Jalad. She will flip the first. Wow, what a play. I thought she was going to make it unassisted, but that's just a heads-up play again. And if you are Bella Gutierrez, you should be rewarded for being in the right place at the right time. But we have seen some really fancy leather being flashed by the Defiance infield tonight.
Well, that was tremendous. Tremendous glove play and tremendous reaction there. And how about Gutierrez coming over there and getting the put out. So great team defense again by Defiance.
Pangle did score on the play. It's now 25-4, but the Cougars are down to their final out. Swing and a miss by Caitlin Bear. Bear, senior. This is where the reality hits you, Scoop. You know that it's going to be a long bus ride home as this one popped up, and it will get out of play. Well, Ryan, our first baseman, first base camera operator, doesn't flinch at all. Look at him. Just cool as the other side of the pillow.
Well, he had his game face on early today,
Yep.
no question about it, and he certainly is not disappointed over there tonight.
1-2. This one popped foul and will bounce just across the fence. Guarantee if Ryan were sitting in one of those lawn chairs, he would have let it just land in his lap. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cougars down to their final out. Tegan Zippel trying to retire her counterpart, Caitlin Bear. Check swing. Did she go? She did not. We had a pretty good look at it from up here, our angle down the first base line. Anytime the barrel comes out in front of the hands, you're almost guaranteed that the umpire sees it. But she held up. The 2-2 fouled away. Bear hanging tough.
Yeah, she is. That was a tremendous hold. I thought for sure that was going to probably end things, but somehow held up. Now she's trying to battle Ziffel here. Count it 2-2.
2 down, runner at third. The 2-2. Got her swinging. That is the ball game.
That's the third Premier Bank strikeout for Tegan Ziffel, and that'll end it here as Defiance is moving on with an impressive W here against the Van Wert Cougars.
The Cougars showed some grit in the top of the 5th. They scored a couple runs on 3 hits and they left 1 aboard, but just simply not enough firepower this evening as Defiance dismantles Van Wert by a final of 25-4. They will survive. They will advance as they will move on next Thursday at Racer Field at the University of Northwest Ohio in Lima. We'll wait and see who comes out of the other half of that bracket, although the number 1 seed, Bryan, is the heavy favorite to do so. We will take a quick timeout. When we come back, it will be our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Don't you go anywhere. We're back after this on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back to Defiance. There you see not quite an empty softball field here as both teams are huddling up down their respective dugout lines as the gear just next to the Bulldog dugout. They are lined up down the left field line. Coach Parrish and company having a good talk. And on the flip side, down the first base line, it is a different story with Coach Kennedy and clearly what's got to be a dejected group of Van Wert Cougars. Final score here this evening, and this one was just an onslaught. There's no other way to put it, as Defiance explodes for 25 runs as they defeat the Cougars 25-4. Scoop, it was a tight ball game through basically an inning and a half. Defiance scores 3 in the bottom of the first. Van Wert gets one back in the top of the second. You're feeling probably as good as you possibly can in that Cougar dugout. And then all of a sudden, the line just kept moving. Defiance puts up 12 in the bottom of the second, and it just wasn't a contest after that. Ohio High School Athletic Association rules basically necessitate you play 5 innings, but it was never a ball game after the bottom of the second. Your take on this one, and it's emotional. I'm not sure if our cameras are still operational, but the hug that Coach Kennedy is giving his senior pitcher, Caitlin Bear, it's over. It's now done. Emma Kennedy, his daughter. You've got a group of seniors in that Van Wert dugout that know when they get home, they're putting away that jersey, and that's it. They're never going to put it on again.
Yeah, that's a hard thing, not just for the players, but for the coach, because you're with these girls throughout. Some of these girls several years, of course, and there you see the winning side of it.
All smiles
Coach
down the
Parrish,
left field line.
So much to be happy about. They came to play, and little did we know, Brent, that when Defiance scored 3 runs in that first inning, that was going to be the fewest runs they put up in an inning tonight. They just were lights out offensively. Van Wert just did not have an answer as Defiance. I had them unofficially, and again, depends on the official scoring. I had them unofficially for 18 hits, 6 of those being extra base hits. I had them down for 4 triples, 2 doubles, but everybody got in on the act. Not just 1 through 9, but also we saw pinch hitter after pinch hitter step in there.
Everybody on the Defiance roster got at least 1 at bat. I think everybody maybe got 2, and everybody saw time in the field. You just can't have a more complete game than that, can you?
No, they played clean defensively. Tegan Zippel really was masterful today. She did a great job, scared at 8 hits. Did not record a lot of strikeouts, but the impressive part of her stats, Brent, she did not allow a single walk, and that's something that Defiance was able to do. They took advantage of every miscue, every hit basket, every free base that Van Wert surrendered. Defiance quickly cashed in, but again, they got a complete effort. You talk about a team win. We saw it here tonight.
We're going to quickly run through our book here and then pack up our gear because tomorrow morning at a little bit before 10, we're going to have Defiance baseball for you as the Bulldogs will host Liberty Benton. On the flip side, let's start with the Cougars because they did have a couple of hitters that had an impressive final game of the season, not the least of which Alexis Pangle. Their senior third baseman went 2 for 3 with a couple of runs scored tonight, and she did everything that she could. Kaylee Blythe, the 9-hole, went 1 for 2 with a run scored. On the flip side, all right, let's take a deep breath and see if you can stay with us because this roller coaster takes a lot of twists and turns. Bella Gutierrez went 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored and 3 RBI. Vida Caceres went, I don't think she had a hit tonight, but she had 2 runs scored. She reached on a fielder's choice. I take that back. She went 1 for 2 tonight with a couple of runs scored. The bottom of the order, again, Brooke Gaffman going 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Tegan Zippel 1 for 3 with a run scored. Let's see. Izzy Ramirez 1 for 2 with a run scored and 2 RBI. And the bottom of the order, Taylor Bibler going 1 for 2 with a run scored. I mean, literally, as you see there, Defiance, again, the co-WBL champions, taking a team picture out by second base. They shared with Kenton this season. But again, back-to-back Western Buckeye League champions, a sectional win. They are going to be advancing next week. I don't want to say how do you build on this, but just like a tough loss that you want to kick to the curb, a blowout win where it was really over after 2 innings, if you are the coaching staff, enjoy it tonight, but then how do you refocus this team to make sure you stay on task?
Well, you're right. You want to enjoy it for tonight, that's for sure, but then you have to get back to work because looming next is probably going to be
Top-seeded
NWOL champ
Yep.
Bryan, who's the #1 seed, and #1 seed for a reason. But if you're Defiance, there's no reason to think that you can't go out there and continue what you started here tonight. You know, you got off on a good start. The bats there were solid 1 through 9. We saw a great base running tonight. We saw great pitching. We saw great defense. So the key is you want to keep playing your best softball at the right time, and certainly Defiance is doing that.
We are going to make this an abbreviated Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show because we've got live programming coming up with the Defiance Hall of Fame. Non-athletics, but we've got great administrators, great city leaders that will be recognized a little bit later on here this evening. We invite you to join us tomorrow morning. It will be breakfast at the ballpark as we will be on the air roughly about 9:40 or so with first pitch at 10 o'clock as the Bulldog baseball team will welcome Liberty Kenton. For Scoop Miller, I'm Brent Balbinot. A big thank you going out to our entire crew doing a great job here again this afternoon, our underwriters for helping make the broadcast a possibility, and you, the fan, for tuning in. Final score, sectional opener, Defiance makes a statement as they blow out visiting Van Wert 25-4 to advance to next week's second round. Again, for Scoop Miller, I'm Brent Balbinot, thanking you, the fan, for tuning in. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.